This is not cute, it is very boring. There is brightness in the world wherever you look, you just have to look. Contemporary romance is not my genre. If you've been on my channel before, you'll know I'm not a romance reader. It's not my favorite genre other than general fiction, which I also dislike. Romance is right at the bottom of the pile. But in honor of Valentine's week, we're going to be reading romance for a week. I have 3 books here, which I got out the library because I didn't want to go buy books that I knew I wouldn't specifically love. I've heard of all 3 of these books, but I haven't read them because I don't read romance, well, anymore. I used to read a lot of romance when I was younger, but not anymore. I'm very excited to see what I think. Like I said, it's Valentine's week. I'm away from my partner, so next best thing is obviously rom-coms and books. The first book we will be reading this week is called The American Roommate Experiment. I've heard really good things about this. Apparently it's really funny. So when was this even published? In 2022, so fairly recent. The next book, I watched the movie and it has Elle Fanning in it, who I really love. Her and Dakota, love them so much. All the Bright Places. So this is very sad. It is a romance, but it's very sad. It's more of like a coming of age romance. I'm not sure how I'm gonna feel about like the YA references, but I'm very excited to try this. I know it's gonna make me cry because I cried so much in the movie. This one was published in 2015. I don't know when the movie came out though, but I really do love that movie. It is really good and I'm probably gonna watch it after I read this book, but I thought we'd just break it up with something a little bit different and see how I feel about it. And then lastly, this is a cult favorite and I have never had an inkling to read it. I saw it at my library and it is the first book. I thought we might as well try it out in this video and it's the perfect video for it. So it is The Fine Print by Lauren Asher. Everybody loves this. It is the Dreamland Billionaire series. And if I like it, I might go purchase the full box set. But for now, we have The Fine Print. So we're basically doing a little taste test on it. That is what we have in store for Valentine's week. So I hope you guys are ready to see me taste test romance again in my adult years, but I'm hoping it goes well. But let me know what you think and please do give this video a thumbs up if you like it and if you want to see more of this kind of content. But I'm very excited for the week ahead, although I'll be missing my partner so much. Update on the American Roommate Experiment. Guys, I am so bored. I know I'm not a huge like contemporary romance reader, but I am sufficiently bored. I read quite a bit last night and honestly, I started to skim. It's just very cringe and it's very cheesy and it's just not for me. I went on to Goodreads and I just checked all the comments that other people had left that didn't also like it. There are a few 5 stars and 4 stars, but the vast majority of what I've seen is people didn't really enjoy it and found it really boring, just like I did or do. My plan is just to give it another chapter and then I think I might DNF it. Like, life is too short. Life is too short to read books that you don't want to read. Also, this is a Valentine's vlog. I thought it was going to be like all cute and stuff, but this is not cute. It is very boring, very cheesy. Like it's trying so hard to be funny that it's being cringe, in my opinion anyway. But I also found out that it is actually like part of an interconnected series, which the first book is The Spanish Love Deception. And I know a lot of people liked that book, but there's some discourse about people also finding her writing pretty boring. But anyway, so it is about our main female character, Rosie, who's just going through a string of bad luck. Like her ceiling collapsed in her apartment and she's just quit her high-paying, high corporate engineering job and she's becoming a romance writer. She hasn't told her family that she's done any of this, so she's kind of hiding it, but she successfully published a book, a romance book, but independently, and then it got picked up by a publishing house and they offered her a book deal and now she has writer's block. So after her apartment ceiling collapsed, she goes to her best friend's house or apartment, which I'm assuming is the best friend in the Spanish Love Deception, and I think that's how it connects. But anyway, she goes to her friend's apartment just to spend a few days there until her apartment gets sorted, not knowing that her best friend had her cousin coming to stay there because her best friend didn't say anything. So like on the first page, there's like a bang on the door and someone's trying to get in, and she calls the cops, and it ends up being this guy that she's actually been stalking for ages since the wedding on the other side of the door. So yeah, they just trying to manage living there together because she's like one of those people, like a people pleaser. That's what I was gonna say. She's a people pleaser and she doesn't want to get in the way and she doesn't want to inconvenience anyone. But he's like, bro, like I'll sleep on the couch, you sleep in the bed, swap around, we can work around each other, it's fine. They have obviously a lot of tension and I can feel the slow burn fizzling. It's too slow in my opinion, even though I'm only like 100 pages in, but I'm not enjoying it. I don't think this is a representation of romance as a genre. Obviously, I really like fantasy and romantasy. I love romance in fantasy books, but seeing it in this setting, it feels really mundane, really boring. Honestly, it's like them eating breakfast together, then them eating lunch together, then them having dinner together, them going back and forth, them getting close and then pushing each other away. And it's like, honestly, I've read 100 pages of a day in my life. I have no interest in that. For me, reading is escapism, and I don't want to read about the mundane every single day life of someone else because I'm living my own, not loving it. So I'm going to quickly just read another chapter. The chapters are super long as well, like 16 to 20 pages. Let's go ahead and read a chapter, and then I'll come back to you guys and tell you what I'm going to read next. Although I will probably tell you an intro, but I cannot remember. But anyway, let's go read this book. Okay friends, sorry about the lighting in here. I'm just in the kitchen, so it is probably echoey as well. So I finished one more chapter of the American Roommates experiment, and the plot has finally like kicked in, but I'm like 230 pages and I'm just no longer interested. Honestly, it's just making me roll my eyes, and yeah, no. It's so cheesy, it's so cringe. They become friends now, herself and Lucas, who is her best friend's cousin. They become friends. He does like a nice little gesture for her and she says thank you, and he's like, you know, I'm a friend, I'm helping you out and I just wanted you to feel better, so no need to say thank you. And then they decide to come up with a code word to say instead of thank you, and it's cronut you. And I rolled my eyes so hard, I am surprised they didn't get stuck like that. So lame, so lame. So no thank you. We're gonna start All the Bright Places. I haven't read the back of this book, but from what I remember from the movie is, I don't even know what Violet, that's the main female character, her name is Violet, and her sister passed away in a car accident and she's in a really dark place. So she goes to the bridge where her sister passed and she meets a guy named Theodore. They don't realize that they kind of are going through the same thing in the sense of like emotional turmoil, because both of them are in a very like deep, dark place. So he works with her to bring her out of this thing, and they come up with like a bucket list, if I'm not mistaken. The back looks like this, so it's just like sticky notes, and I think they leave each other sticky notes or something like that. I'm very excited to read this book. I'm hoping it's good because honestly, I cannot fathom reading another slow book like that. But also just wanted to show you guys these little bookmarks that I have, and I made these. It's the color by number with diamantes, so yeah, I absolutely love them. I got 6 of them for Christmas and literally I've only got one more to make, so I'm saving that because my partner's not here and it's fun to like watch a movie and like do this, so he's gonna bring me some more when he comes back. I will let you guys know what I think, probably read 50 pages and get back to you, but I'm very excited for this book. It is Hi everyone. So it's actually the next day. I didn't check in yesterday. Again, I don't know, I just wasn't feeling great. It's that time of the month. I know, on Valentine's week. I did make quite a bit of progress in All the Bright Places. I'm enjoying this. I'm enjoying it a lot more than I did the American Roommate Experiment, obviously. It is YA, but it just feels so much deeper with so much more feeling. It has a sense of direction in the book and I like where it's going. It's keeping me interested. I made it to, I know I said I'd check in at page 50, but I actually made it up to page 108. So really stoked with that. Sorry I sound a bit groggy. I don't know why, but I've drank a ton of water, but I just sound very groggy. I think the movie is slightly different from the book because the summary I gave you guys yesterday is kind of different from what I'm reading now. So it is about Theodore and Violet, but they call Theodore Finch, and he's like a weirdo and an outcast at school, and he has a few mental problems because of his background. So he does have these stages where he kind of just goes into a really deep depression and he can't do anything. He calls this period his asleep period, and then he has awake periods. So the asleep period is kind of when he's in his funk and he actually can't function. He doesn't remember anything. He just goes into this really dark place. So when he meets Violet on the ledge of the bell tower at school, he's contemplating jumping, and so is she, but she's also in like a deep dark place because her sister passed away. He becomes a little bit like obsessed with her and he's just so worried about her. So he's doing everything to stay away so that he can make sure that she's okay and make sure that she doesn't follow through with what she was gonna do. So it's a really sweet, heartfelt story, and I knew that by the movie. I just find the book is a little bit slower. Obviously there's a lot more pages than an hour and a half movie, but I'm really enjoying it regardless. There's no real romance that's taken place just yet, and it is YA, so there's no like smut or anything. It's starting to bud a little bit, and it's so sweet. It's so sweet just to watch. But I'm gonna give myself an hour to read before I have to go cook some dinner. Let's get reading and see how many pages I can read in an hour. I know it's about 40 pages. That's my reading speed right now. So yeah, let's read another 40 pages and I will let you know when I'm halfway through the book. Everybody, I come bearing very good news. I have an update. I finished All the Bright Places. I didn't get much b-roll of myself reading it, but that's because I was having one of those weeks, you know, where it was just one of those weeks. It was my time of the month, not great, so I didn't really get on camera as much as I wanted to, but I really enjoyed this book. I also watched the movie afterwards. The movie is actually really bad if you compare to the content that was in the book. The book was so deep and heartfelt, and it had a lot of like messaging about being unhappy and grief and high school and navigating, you know, becoming a grown-up, dark days and seeing all the bright places and the bright things that, you know, are in life. And sometimes when you're in your black moods or just a moody day, you tend to forget that there is brightness in the world wherever you look. You just have to look. It was really sad. Obviously, I cried. I literally cried when I read the author's note as well. Oh my gosh, bawling this morning, but it was great. It was really, really well written. The character development, Violet grows so much as a person. If you've watched the movie, I would recommend reading the book. It was so good and so heartfelt, and I think it's a great coming of age story as well, from like young adult to new adult, around there, like moving from like high school into your older years and how to navigate things. It was great. It was so, so good, and I can't recommend this book enough, so I gave it a 4-star. Next, we're going to read The Fine Print by Lauren Asher. I'm really excited to try this series because I've heard so many people talk about it and love it, and if I do like the series, I'll definitely go out and buy it. But for now, like I said, it is a library book. I really like the title pages for all the chapters. It looks really, really cool. I'm not 100% sure what it is about, but I know it is about our main male character, and his name is Rowan, and he's like a billionaire. I think she's his assistant or something like that, but he's also going through a lot of grief, and his grandpa passes away and leaves him a will, well, leaves him the business in the will, but he needs to like get married or something before he's allowed to take his inheritance or something like that. That's just what I've heard from other people. So I will let you know when I get a little bit further in. I've read one page. I'll let you guys know what I think, and we can close this video up for the week of Valentine's Day. I just read the first chapter of the fine print and I was mistaken. The synopsis that I thought it was is a synopsis, but for another book in the series, for one of his other brothers. I think his name is Cal. So there's three brothers, Declan, Cal, and I don't know who Rowan is the main guy we're dealing with now. Like I said, his grandfather passes away and he gives them all a task before they can get their inheritance, which is the company that he has, which is called Dreamland, and I'm assuming it's like an amusement park. So what he needs to do now is, for some reason, get back into the company and come up with an idea. So he's given them a project to do, but for some reason he doesn't want to go back to the company or create anything. So I'm not sure why, but I just wanted to correct myself there. But I am 10 pages in now, and honestly, it's really easy to read. I'm really liking it so far. Contemporary romance is not my genre. I'll repeat that again, but this seems like it has more of a plot, which I prefer in my books. I don't like plotless books. I'm so far enjoying it, 10 pages in, and I'll check in with you guys again maybe when I get like 50 pages in, just to see if my opinion has changed, and then halfway at the end. But so far, so good. Really like it now. Hi friends, sorry, I only have one light on, so I'm really sorry if it's casting weird shadows, but I didn't feel like plugging in my other light right now. It is really hot today, so I'm sorry if there's background noise because I do have a fan on. I've been melting. My hair's just washed and I had to do a slick back because it is that hot. But I just want to do a quick update. I'm currently on chapter 15, page 116 of the fine print. I'm really liking it. It's taken me longer to read, even though I don't mind her writing style. I feel like it's just, I don't know how to explain it. I'm just struggling to get into it. I do like where it's going though. So as I said before, we have Rowan and Zara, and they kind of work together at Dreamland. He is kind of fulfilling this project that he has to do in order to get his inheritance from his grandma, and Zara is one of the employees at Dreamland. So Dreamland's meant to be like a Disneyland. It's in Florida and it's described as something to do with like a theme park. So she works in the makeup department and always wanted to be a creator. So if you're a creator, you get to come up with ideas and assist with coming up with new rides and new ideas to put towards this. So the two of them are kind of hitting it off right now. There's a lot of tension. They like each other. As it goes in books, there's a lot of tension and they struggle to communicate. So both of them are just like push and pull. They've already had their first kiss. It happened in like the first like 100 pages, which was very cute. And I really like that concept. He's more of the grumpy, she's more of a sunshine, so it's going in that direction. But this is kind of the type of contemporary romance that I personally enjoy, because there is an actual plot. There's kind of something that we're working towards. It's not just the mundane people falling in love, going to work, coming back. It's actually following a quite interesting like plot line. So I'm really liking this. I'm not really sure where a rating would land because I'm not that far in yet, but probably like a 3.75 to a 4-star if I had to guess, but we'll see how it ends up. I'm actually really curious to see what the rest of the series is about because it follows the other two brothers that he has. So I don't know. We'll see at the end of this, but I'm happy I left this book for last because it's not too sad, not yet anyway. Struggling to think about what the third act breakup is going to be because obviously there's going to be one. It's a romance book and it follows a formula, and that unfortunately is part of it. Very happy, stoked, and yeah, I think we'll end this off on a good note. So I will keep you guys updated when I get a bit further. I know I said I'd check in at 50%, but I was just enjoying my time, and also I'm reading another book at the same time as this, so I'm kind of having to divide my time. I have a lot of editing. I'm having problems with my camera. You'll see some of my clips are really blurry because I don't know why, but my focus has like changed. So it's now manual. So every time I have to go put on my camera, I need to push that it needs to defocus the background because I have so much going on around me that it's kind of focusing there and blurring me out. A little bit weird, but I'm hoping this clip comes out better. But I'm sorry if you did notice that throughout the video. But good morning, everyone. So I just woke up. Sorry about the lighting. I'm just using natural lighting and I haven't made my bed yet, so ignore that. But I just wanted to quickly update you on the fine print, which is the last book we'll be reading in this vlog. It got really frustrating. I made it to page 220 last night, which is halfway-ish through the book. So it got really annoying because there's already a conflict when they haven't even started dating yet. But there's already a conflict and they're not even a couple yet. So that was very frustrating because it's the beginning stages of a relationship and it should all be like getting to know each other, you know, seeing what each other's like and not like fighting already. It just feels a little bit too far-fetched. I know they're a little bit older and conflicts can happen, especially because it is a romance in the workplace, which is not my favorite thing. Like even the hating game, I liked it, but I didn't like the fact that it was in the workplace because I've dated in the workplace before and it never ends well. If you guys break up, one of you is bound to resign and leave. So I don't like that concept, but at the same time, it's interesting enough because our main male character, Rowan, he's like so set in his ways and he thinks that he knows who he is, but he's been through a lot of trauma. So I don't feel like he really knows who he is. He's never had the opportunity to just open up to someone and be himself because he is a billionaire. So he's kind of guarded, they say he's grumpy, but I don't think it's grumpy. It's just he's very distrustful and he just doesn't trust people and he doesn't open up very easily because of his traumatic past. We don't really know what is in his past because we know his grandpa passed away and we know that his mother has passed away, which is like in the first couple of pages, but we don't know how his mom passed away because of his mom's passing. His upbringing was like horrible. So I don't know. And then we have Zara, who's like a little airhead and nothing can bother her. She's super happy, but she's definitely hiding a secret. She's had a terrible breakup and also she's not as guarded as him. She's more trusting than he is, but there's like little things that could just make her flip her lid. And the conflict for me was small enough not to react the way she did, but I think there's something underlying there, like something to do with like mental illness or something. But they both really like each other and I'm like, just communicate. There's nothing wrong with it. Like, yeah, he's the boss and you're an employee. You already crossed a threshold. Like, just admit your feeling. It's just very frustrating at the moment and I'm only halfway. So I'm planning to finish this today. I was gonna go on a walk, hence why I got ready, but I'm really not in the mood. Like it's been really hot lately and like yesterday I went for like a 3-kilometer run and when I got home it felt like my face was gonna explode, like it was pounding like that just because of the heat. So I think I'm just gonna lay off it today and then I'll try again tomorrow morning and go like really early. So I'm just going to take some time now, read for a couple of hours, see where I get, and then I need to edit a whole lot. Hopefully I'll finish this before the end of day so I can close out this video and start my next one. But so far I'm liking it, but like I said, it's very frustrating where it's gone because the miscommunication trope for me is a very, very frustrating. I know we've all been there. It's frustrating just reading it on page and you already know the outcome and the stupidness of it. It kind of irks me a little bit, but I guess that adds to the tension because they're super attracted to each other. The one thing I don't like is every time they accidentally graze or touch, like it's spoken about extensively that they feel this spark and this chemistry and this electrical feel. We get it, like you've said it like 10 times. We don't need to keep repeating that concept because we understand. Also him, like every time she tells a joke, like he doesn't want to outright laugh or smile, so he'll like quake the one side of his mouth and like it's just been repeated so many times. Like we get it, don't worry, we understand. Like it doesn't need to be brought up every single time the two of them have a conversation. So yeah, that's just my feelings right now. I'm going to finish up this book and then I'll let you guys know what I think. Hi everybody, so I finally finished this book, The Fine Print. I was very conflicted of what rate to give it. Also, I know I said I would finish it yesterday, but I actually finished it this morning. I only had about 30 pages left, but I was so tired last night, I thought I might as well just do it in the morning before I check in with you guys. I struggled with the rating on this. It's between a 4 and a 3.75, but I think I'm going to settle on a 3.75. I just felt like I did enjoy the story. I liked that there was a plot. I liked that Zara had her own life, he had his own life. He was like super grumpy. She was the sunshine and ray of light, even though she had been through a fair bit in her life. Him being a business person and a billionaire, I guess, has been through his own thing as well. But yeah, the two of them colliding together just made sense. I didn't like all the miscommunication in it. I never really liked the miscommunication trope. Other than that, I absolutely loved it. I was very, very happy with my read. It did take very long because yeah, the writing is tiny and it's just over 400 pages, but I'm really happy I read it. I think I will go ahead and read the other two books. If I can't find them at my library, I'll potentially buy the box set because I'm very curious to find out what else happens in the series, but so happy with this. But let's do a recap before we close off this video. So the first book we picked up was The American Roommate Experiment by Elena Aramis, and unfortunately this was in DNF. I obviously explained all my feelings in my previous wrap up as well as the beginning of this video. I didn't like this book, didn't enjoy it. I just felt like it was so shallow, and unfortunately I just couldn't carry on with it. It took me ages to read as well, and I just wasn't into it. Then we picked up All the Bright Places by Jennifer Neven. I don't know how to pronounce her last name, but absolutely loved this book. I watched the movie before I read the book, and I realized that the book is actually so much better than the movie. The movie was very rushed. It felt a little bit low budget, so it didn't cover all the nuances that the book did, and I absolutely loved it. It was filled with grief, character growth, strong, independent, like female character. It does have self-harm in it, so just do check trigger warnings if you were to read this, but it is a a young adult / new adult book, so it does read like one, but it's still so mature with all the feelings and issues that they deal with about coming from a broken family and yeah, abuse, both verbal and physical. So yeah, I enjoyed it, but yeah, I gave this a 4-star. And then, like I just said, The Fine Print by Lauren Asher, 3.75. It's so close to a 4-star, but I forgot to say as well, the smut in it. I'm not opposed to smut. You should know this. It's like one of my guilty pleasures, but the smut was just written a little bit insensitively, and it was very like, I don't know, it was just too descriptive. Like, we all know what it is. Like, you don't have to go into that much detail, and I found myself skipping the scenes, and sometimes it would be like 3 pages or like half a chapter, and I was like, okay, like I get it, their attraction is so strong, but I didn't love it, so that's another reason why I marked it down. But I hope you guys had a week filled with love. Happy Valentine's week, and please remember to like and subscribe and spread the love. Please comment down below with what you did for Valentine's Day. I unfortunately do not have my partner with me. He's currently in the UK. So we get married in a couple of months. I know I've been mentioning it in every single video, but we do get married in a couple of months, so he's just back home now, so he'll be with me soon. But another year by myself. But yeah, let me know what you guys did for Valentine's Day. I would love to know. But that's it from me, guys. Like I said, please remember to like and subscribe, and I'll see you all in my next one. Bye guys.